Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I did one. Well, it seems like today, all y'all dumbass Democrats that voted for Joe Biden and everything, they're right here, NSA, just now launched a new program here. They can spy on us and everything, and the U.S. Senate voted on it. Congratulations, y'all Democrats voted for Joe Biden in office. This is y'all fruit, y'all labor, right here. I hope y'all stupid idiots understand what y'all done. Everybody who voted for Joe Biden, I hope y'all like this. On April the 19th, White House has urged the Senate to swiftly pass a bill. April the 19th. They have just passed it. Swiftly passed this bill before the authorities expire April the 19th, which they have done already. Meetings right here on Thursday. They can spy on anybody.
That's not fair. I'm not doing that. The White House has urged the Senate to swiftly pass this bill before the authority expires on April 19th. So they're on a ticking clock. You bet they're going to get this hurried and through. You notice how, like, people say, reform is a slow process. Sure, we'd like to build a better and fairer and more judicious world, but the wheels of democracy, they sure turn slow. Hey, we've got 24 hours and we're not going to be able to spy on everyone in America. It's done. They can move fast when they need to move fast. You better believe that. If you don't understand the gravity and import of this situation, let's see what Edward Snowden's got to say. The NSA is just days from taking over the internet, and it's not on the front page of any newspaper because no one has noticed. This is a post from, I'm now beginning to realise, a rather brilliant person, Elizabeth Goitein, who writes, "If this bill becomes law, any company or individual that provides any service whatsoever may be forced to assist in NSA surveillance, as long as they have access to equipment on which communications are transmitted or stored, such as routers, or maybe you guys say routers, servers, cell towers, etc." Well, that seems to be cause for some concern, doesn't it? Let's learn what Elizabeth Goitein's got to teach us about this new draconian measure that I reckon when we wake up tomorrow will have been passed. Buried in the Section 702 Reauthorization Bill, RISAA, passed by the House on Friday, so it's already been passed by Congress, is the biggest expansion of domestic surveillance since the Patriot Act, which was of course a response to an atrocity, the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center, which subsequently led to military interventionism and action in Iraq and Afghanistan, which in retrospect did not make sense, meant that millions of people died, that terrorist organizations were created. It was not a good thing. I'll explain how this new power works, continues Goitein. Under current law, the government can compel electronic communications service providers that have direct access to communications to assist the NSA in conducting Section 702 surveillance. In practice, that means companies like Verizon and Google must turn over the communications of the targets of Section 702 surveillance. The targets must be foreigners, overseas, like me, I'm overseas, although the communications can and do include communications with Americans. I'm communicating with Americans right now. You're Americans, right? I'm communicating with you guys right now. And who among you do you not have any foreign friends? Or are you actually what the neoliberal establishment claims? So insular, so locked in national identity that you don't speak with foreigners. I don't think that of you. Through a seemingly innocuous change to the definition of electronic communication surveillance provider, note that fact that it's innocuous, note that fact that it's bureaucratic creep of tyranny once again that we're confronted with, an amendment offered by House Intel Committee, HPSCI leaders, and passed by the House, vastly expands the universe of entities that can be compelled to assist the NSA. If the bill becomes law, any company or individual that provides any service whatsoever may be forced to assist in NSA surveillance as long as they have access to equipment on which communications are transmitted or stored, such as routers, servers, cell towers, etc. That sweeps in an enormous range of US businesses that provide Wi-Fi.
Basically, we have no more freedom now.
And therefore have access to equipment on which communications transit. Barbershops, laundromats, fitness centres, hardware stores, dentist offices, the list goes on and on. Essentially, anywhere that has Wi-Fi would have to hand over information. And do you notice as well the manner in which they tack these things on? The extraordinary manner and sly methods that are deployed to control you, to manipulate and target you. It also includes commercial landlords that rent out the office spaces where tens of millions of Americans go work every day. Offices of journalists, lawyers, non-profits, financial advisors, healthcare providers and more. When the amendment was first unveiled, one of the Pfizer court amici took the highly unusual step of sounding a public alarm. Civil liberties advocates noted that the provision would encompass hotels, libraries and coffee shops. The version of HPSCI leaders offered Friday therefore exempts hotels, library shops and coffee shops, plus a handful of other establishments. But as the Pfizer court amicus probably pointed out, the vast majority of US businesses remain fair game. The amendment even extends to service providers who come into our homes. House cleaners, plumbers, people performing repairs and IT service providers have access to laptops and routers inside our homes and could be forced to serve as surrogate spies. What happens to me when I read this? I'm sort of like, oh God, this is sort of a little bit boring, but hold on a minute. What they're doing is they're facilitating endless espionage and spying while hypocritically condemning Julian Assange for espionage and seeking to extradite him. And, all right, they're saying they're not going to execute him, but he may have to spend the rest of his life in jail, and he can't say, well, what about free speech? I was a publisher. And now they're increasing these measures. I guess we're going to have to stay calm, because this is pretty extraordinary. Isn't it? We can't just get lost in passion. We must somehow remain calm. None of these people or businesses will be allowed to tell anyone about the assistance they were compelled to provide. They will be under
Democrats voted for.
face heavy penalties.
Y'all voted for Joe Biden.
You see once again, like when you look at this,
and look what he got y'all.
You see the sort of grey, drab, Soviet-derived dystopic vision that Orwell rendered. That is in fact
information on my
in terms of the power
2 bits
and
of the hour.
ability of centralized
When it comes to
forces
election,
to dominate
don't
and
vote for
control.
Joe Biden.
But the aesthetic
This son of a bitch
is
is trying to take
very
away our
much
freedom.
Brave New World. Sublime,
We'll be better off with Donald Trump.
divine, sweet, anodyne, astringent, clean and hygienic dictatorships where drones immaculately fly and rationally dispense with opponents of the state, where sovereign nations are of course free to make their own decisions, and you are of course not free to decide whether or not you want your taxes to continue to fund foreign wars, to continue to fund censorship that ultimately prohibits you from learning the truth.
Now on that, Joe Biden passed a bill to give Ukraine more of our hard-earned tax money. Well, then here's one we'll call out right here. Step, are you happy? All y'all people who voted for all the Democrats, are you happy with what's going on with the Democrat Party now? I don't think so. I was going to call people names out who voted for Donald, not for Donald Trump, but Joe Biden, but I should call y'all names out just to put y'all on blast. Because y'all are the ones who voted for this bullshit with Joe Biden. Y'all are sucking on the sack of Joe Biden's campaign. Y'all hate his for his ass. Y'all eating what he's eating for breakfast. And everything. Well, I don't feel sorry for what happened to y'all. Y'all Democrats voted for that diaper sniffer.
I urge you, if you've not seen the documentaries, I think it's called.
It just goes to show that the Democratic Party, both in the White House, celebrities, and civilians, are dummies. Straight up dumbasses. Straight up dumbasses. I don't care if it upsets y'all or what I say. Whoever voted for Joe Biden is a dumbass. Plain and simple. Good night.